Hey everyone, just wanted to make an official video to go over the build off that I announced back in December on Instagram and talk a little bit about the competition, the deadline, and about my work in progress build. If you don't follow me on Instagram, last December I announced a community build off called the Birth Year Build Off. The basic idea was to find a way to get people to try out building some vintage kits, especially people who have maybe never worked on them before. So in short, the basic premise is you can build any kit from the year in which you were born. How do you find out what kits were made in the year you were born? Well, that's where our old best friend Dalong.net comes in. You can just go to Dalong, go to the old section at the top, make sure to select English catalog if you can't read Korean, and then the kits are all listed by year. If a date range is listed, when you click on a particular kit, the specific date will be listed at the top. If you were born before 1980, you can build any of the 1980 kits. It's also fine to build a non-Gunpla mecha kit if it was from the year you were born. I just focused on Gunpla for the explanation because I think they're a lot more accessible to find and most people are probably interested in building those. Speaking of finding the kits, where can you find them? Well, there are a few places, the big ones being eBay, Buyee, Surgaya, maybe Yahoo Auctions, but you can also find reissues of some of these kits from the other major Gundam retailers, and there's also a few specialty shops like Wise Guys Hobbies that specialize in carrying older model kits, so you can check them out as well. I'm not sponsored by any of those sites, but I do use them myself to pick up vintage kits. Last but not least, before we get into my build, how do you enter? You simply make a post on Instagram featuring your build and tag me at pixelies_world in your post. In my Instagram announcement post about the build off, I also included a little FAQ. I will include that in the video description here as well. But in short, this is just a fun community build off. There are no prizes or anything like that, but I will be sharing some or all of the submissions in a future video and an Instagram post depending on how many there are. And last but not least, the due date for submissions is September 1st, so you've got about 5 weeks from the time this video is going live on YouTube to get those kits built up. Alright, so with all of that said, let's get into my build. So I am working on a no-grade Rikdom 2 from the 0080 War in the Pocket series. I built a couple of kits from the series, but this one really stood out to me. I think the Rikdom 2 in general is a really cool looking suit that is kind of forgotten about. A lot of people build the original Dom or the Rikdom or even the Dom Tropen, but I don't really see very many builds of the Rikdom 2. So this is footage here of the snap build of the kit. If you want to see my full snap review, I'll throw up a link here, but let's switch over to where I am currently at with the kit and what I plan on doing. So for the overall concept, I'm thinking of doing a diorama with the Dom in front of some asteroids and space debris. I have a little mock-up here. It's very rough, it's just a mock-up, but I'm really trying to see what kind of dynamic poses I can get with minimal modifications. I've already increased the length of the ankles a little bit to add some additional foot articulation. And in this photo here, you can see I've tilted the torso. I'm not sure if I'll keep that tilt there in the final build or not, but I do like how it makes the pose look right now. So I decided for this build that I wanted to try something a little bit different and build something that is inspired by some of the more organic looking suits I've seen in some old issues of Hobby Japan and Model Graphics magazine. As you can see in the photos here, there's a lot of rounded edges, piping, extra wires, lots of scratch built details that give the kits a very organic, almost alien feel. I want to add a little bit of that flavor to this kit. I'm also pulling some inspiration from a few Dom builds I've seen in some old issues of Hobby Japan as well, like these ones here. So as far as modifications go, I'm figuring it out as I go, but the main ones will be the addition of scratch built details. I think I'm going to keep any major proportion style mods to a minimum. Overall, I like the proportions that this kit already has. The only thing I may do is cut the arms at the shoulder to add some additional articulation, as seen in this photo here. I've already started some of the detail up sections. You can see the back of the kit here. I've added some asymmetrical wires and details. I've also started to fill in some of the gaps on the inside of the skirt, but this area here needs a bit more work as of yet. And as for the inside of the legs, I've also started to add some additional wire and details, but this portion is still very work in progress. I'm planning on constructing some sort of piston mechanism to sit above the wires and fill in some of that empty space. I've also done a lot of basic seam line removal all over the kit. This will probably need some additional work after I paint down my primer, but this is where it's at so far. And as far as color scheme is concerned, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm debating doing a green and orange color scheme, kind of like in those DOM examples I shared earlier, or maybe doing a very old school Kobayashi all gray, black, and silver color scheme. I really like those too. I think I'll decide on the color scheme once it's all primed and I've got all my scratch built pieces intact and I have a better grasp of what the full diorama is looking like. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to put together a little YouTube video to chat over the build off and my work in progress. I'm really excited to see everyone's entries. Quite a few people have DM'd me with the kits they're working on, and I'm really excited to see what everyone comes up with. Speaking of which, if you want to chat more about this, feel free to join our Discord. I've actually gone ahead and made a specific Discord channel to chat over everyone's builds for this build off. And we would really love to have you there and see what you're working on. And yeah, just talk about Gunpla and all kinds of stuff like that. And that's pretty much going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, it would be much appreciated. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing everyone's builds soon, and I will catch you all in the next video. All right, bye.